Alrighty, good afternoon and happy Saturday as we welcome you into Adena High School as the Warriors are set to take on the South Webster Jeeps in some Saturday afternoon non-conference volleyball action along with Shane Combs. My name is Dewey Daly as we welcome you into today's coverage. Shane, coming off the heels of the first football Friday night, an outstanding matchup for us here on the hardwood in the fall sports season.
Yeah, it's been a real exciting kickoff week. Thursday night football, Friday night football, now Saturday morning volleyball. And this is where I get really, really excited because I just think volleyball is just such an elite sport in our area. I think when you look across the state, I think volleyball has proven itself as one that can really compete statewide. And these two programs we have here today are a great example of that.
You talk about those two programs we have here today with Adena and South Webster. Not only great programs, but two of the more decorated and well-respected coaches in Southern Ohio with Darcy Claxton and Laura Smith.
Yeah, no question about it. The consistency of what they bring to their programs is something really, really unique. The winning and all those things are obviously impressive, but as I get older and older, I think it's the longevity and the constant work that goes into it, because I know how easily it can get away from you too. So the fact that they're able to maintain it at such a high level over the course of time is really, really impressive.
And both teams eclipsing the 20-win mark last season for South Webster. They finished up 21-3 for Adena. Obviously, they had the trip to the Final Four, a 24-4 final record last season for Adena, and they actually started out, I believe, 6-3. They rattled off 18 consecutive wins heading into the state tournament last season.
It was one of the more unique teams I've ever covered, and it was really fun to watch them develop their identity because, you'd watch them early in the year, and you'd see some different holes, and you'd think, okay, well, they need to get a little bit more balanced here. They need to do this. They need to do that. But then they finally just kind of leaned into who they were. They knew they had elite middles. They knew they were elite defensively. And they just kind of went with it, and they ended up taking off. And we'll see again. Each year is a little bit of a different puzzle, and it'll be interesting to see where these teams are today, because I think it'll be a great match. But make no mistake about it, you said it in your first question there, these types of programs, they're going to be a lot better 2 months from now than they are today. I promise you that.
And Shane, for Adena specifically, you really talked about leaning into that identity, and a lot of that was the then junior, now senior Katie Burns, who led the Warriors in kills with 524 last season. But you also mentioned the defense, a lot of the other players for the Warriors that are super impactful. Some have graduated, but they also have a handful returning as well.
They really do. And you talk about leaning into something on an identity. The Katie Burns talent would be a pretty good place to start. But you're right. The defense has always been the staple of Adena. They're so efficient in what they do. You've heard me say it before. In volleyball and the rally scoring, it's sometimes about staying mistake-free. You want to be aggressive. You got to go on the offense, and you got to be able to score. But sometimes it's just a matter of messing up a little less than your opponent. And as you watch Adena, you really start to appreciate in their serving, and their serve receive, and the way they pass, the way they set. They just don't do a lot of things to hurt themselves. And you add that all the way up when you're playing the 25 win by 2, and that's a winning formula.
And, we've talked about the winning programs, especially here with Adena and South Webster. The Jeeps have been one of those teams where every year they graduate an important piece or two, and you think, well, next year they might take a step back, but then you have the underclassmen that step up and really rise to the occasion. I think that says a lot about the program, but also the coaching for the Jeeps.
Well, that's when a great team or maybe a great class turns into a great program. Does that make sense? Sometimes you have a great team that comes along and is really good, and then you have to try to start all over, or maybe you have a group that comes through and they're able to string together a 3 or 4 year run. What happens when their program starts to develop, it just becomes a reloading thing. It becomes a factory. One person out, insert another, continue. And that's what you're starting to see there. So we just watched the JV volleyball match here before coming on the air. If you watch JV volleyball throughout the year, that's pretty good volleyball there for that particular level. So and that just shows you. You could see 3 or 4 girls on both sides of the net that here in the next year or two will play a varsity role for their programs, and that's that ongoing creation of talent that we're talking about.
And one of those players that have really risen to the occasion now, an upperclassman. We'll talk about Sydney Kessler, a player we saw a couple years ago really elevate her game down at Logan. She's now stepped into more of a full-time role, and as a freshman as a freshman, she was more there to get the older Claxton, Bella Claxton, more swings on the outside, but more of a full-time role now for the junior. Eclipsed the 1,000 assist mark earlier on this season, so she's been a really important piece for South Webster.
It really is, and to continue your theme of program development, that happens a lot too. You know, a lot of times early on, you want to get your talented athletes on the court. You'll utilize them in a little bit more of a specialty role. As they get older, that role starts to expand. The leadership role starts to expand, and now quarterbacking the entire thing, obviously more than ready to do so, and should be a real big year for her.
And Shane, we mentioned the Warriors returning some key pieces from last season, but also graduating some key pieces as well. Their second in attacking, Corinne Day, graduates just shy of the 400 kill mark last season. You had Kayla Grooms, who more or less split ball handling duties with Courtney Sowers last season. They also graduate Cameron Sowers and Layla Holmes. So for the Warriors, who do you expect to maybe step into more pronounced roles and more full-time role this season for the Warriors?
Well, it's interesting because I think, you know, all of those kids you named were very, very valuable. But again, in the ongoing identity of Adena, I don't worry too much about filling in on the passing, filling in on the setting. I think that the hitter is the big question mark for me today. You know, you look up and down the roster, and you got the likes of a Wise Cup, you know, Jones, a Glandon. There's some kids that are very, very capable. But I would argue that the graduation of Day is as big a graduation piece as we probably have throughout the Southeast, because keep in mind, Adena didn't really do it with balance across the net last year. So as you get into that 4th, 5th, and 6th rotation, they're really going to need one of these others. But what excites me is what we're talking about, the player development throughout. I can't wait to see some of those names I've just given you, to see what they're going to look like now a year later as their role starts to change.
All righty, we'll take our first break. Warriors and Jeeps when we return to Adena High School. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Back here at Adena High School, Warriors and Jeeps coming up in a little over a minute and a half. Shane, some keys today for either of these teams to come out on top. It's an interesting situation where you have South Webster already a handful of games under their belt. This will be game 4 for South Webster this season, but for Adena, this is going to open things up for them this afternoon.
That really is an interesting scheduling situation, and I think that's a big key for Adena. I think opening day, you and I were watching, calling a game last week, remember, where Logan Elm had played the night before, Zane Trace did not. Well, I thought that played a huge role early in that first set. I thought Zane Trace had some of the opening day jitters where Logan Elm kind of knocked them off the night before. So, you know, that's the first key for me for Adena, is just being able to settle in right away and not get off to that poor start where you're not dealing with some of the normal butterflies. Now, again, a lot of these girls, goodness, they played on the Final Four stage last year, but you know how it is. It's still opening day, right? It's still, you've been working all off season, all preseason for this. As far as South Webster, man, you're talking about a team that's been battle tested already. I played the 5-set thriller with Uniota, and so they've played some pretty good teams here early on. So that'll definitely be something I pay attention to probably in the first, say, 12 to 15 points of this one.
For the Jeeps so far this season, they're 2-1, still haven't had any games within their conference. The SOC3, they took down the Panthers of Southeastern in straight sets, lost to Uniota in 5, and also swept the Titans of Notre Dame. Again, this is game number 4 for the Jeeps, and going to be the home opener and season opener for Adena, so it should be a good one here this afternoon. Warriors coming off of a 24-4 season a year ago, a trip to the Final Four. South Webster finishing up their season a year ago 21-3, so two 20-win teams from last season. Outstanding programs, outstanding players, outstanding traditions for both of these schools.
That's why I like this contract. You know, play here early in the year. Both teams are going to benefit from it. Obviously, we benefit from it, right, because we get to watch it. But both teams are going to benefit from it because what it does is it exposes you early. It lets you know what you're doing well, what you need to work on.
Warriors back in action next Tuesday. They'll have Unyota. I already mentioned South Webster has faced Unyota this season. The Shermans are also 2-1. They lost in straight sets to Logan Elm. Also took down South Webster and Chillicothe in 5 sets. So it's been an interesting year so far for Unyota. Straight set loss, but back-to-back 5-set wins. For South Webster, they're in McDermott. Also next Tuesday, they'll have Northwest. The Mohawks are 2-0. They took down Portsmouth West and Ironton St. Joe. Sound system here at Adena is a little beat up.
Yeah, going through the play introductions. Now over to the home side there with Adena.
Sort of sounds like a leaf blower at times.
Yeah.
We obviously had the sound issue down in Portsmouth where the speakers were shooting a little high-pitched noise there for about the first half. I wasn't sure if you noticed it or not, but I definitely heard it during the game as well. Home opener here at Adena.
Noticed when I pulled in, baseball field is up outside there. Paul Thomas was telling me it's pretty much, the field's pretty much done. They still got to do some of the ballpark things, but that's exciting to see that this spring.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Back here at Adena High School, first serve coming up between the Warriors and Jeeps. Game number 1 this season for Adena. Game number 4 for South Webster. They're 2-1. wins over Southeastern and Notre Dame, a 5-set loss at Unyota. Against the Shermans, the Jeeps and Unyota both reached 20 points, and 3 out of the 5 sets were underway here in Frankfort. Lee Master brings it back to the middle. Dalton a free ball over to South Webster. Kessler down the middle. It's blocked back over by Adena. Near side, this is Claxton, dug up on the other side by Smith. Down the middle, Burns tips it over with the right hand, and a dig from Mays. Now near side, Claxton on the attack, just does get it over the net. But Burns quickly back over now. Kessler near side. Claxton blocked up top. It's like Peyton Lee Master and Katie Burns in on the stop for the Warriors.
Yeah, nice job. Get some good size there on the double block on the outside. Kind of a long rally, a little bit of ugly rally as both teams settle in a little bit.
Now the junior libero, Kimmy Dalton, back to serve it away. Kessler front setting, back setting actually to the far side. It's Addie Claxton who gets the first kill this afternoon for South Webster.
See, early on in the serve receive, sometimes that's where the nerves will show up.
Sowers bump setting far side down the line. It's Glandon dug up in the back row by Horner. Now Avery Claxton on the attack, and a nice play by Adena. Free ball over by the Warriors now. Kessler down the middle. Big swing down the lane for Chloe Milligan, who tools the block for the kill.
Yeah, nice aggressive swing. Get that one-on-one opportunity in the middle against Burns. Sometimes you're just better off trying to pick your spot and attack it.
Addie Claxton serves it away for the Jeeps. Weiskup near side. It's a free ball over by Sowers. Kessler back setting to the far side for Mays, and a dig for Burns. Now Burns a swing down the middle. Kept alive by the Jeeps near side. This is Avery Claxton on the attack. Nice play by the Warriors defensively now. Katie Burns a swing down the middle. She gets the kill to tie it up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, in the early going, some of the serve receive hasn't been real clean, and that's led to both teams not really being able to go on the attack the way they want. So that'll be something they want to clean up here to get going.
Sophomore Allie Bossert back to serve for the Warriors. Kessler from the attack side, near side for Avery Claxton. She gets the kill.
Good job of getting outside and really creating that angle. Sometimes I think strong side hitters get up the net a little bit and get themselves into more traffic. Get out there and get themselves an angle. I like that.
Emma Campbell back to serve for South Webster. Over on the second touch, it's Bossert. And she wasn't able to keep it inside the antenna. It's 4-2 South Webster. Campbell serves it away. Glandon back setting to the far side. It's whacked over by Jones. Now Kessler back setting to the far side. Carly Mays, a nice play in the back row for Adena. Now Katie Burns, a big swing down the lane for the kill.
Much better system that time. Pass on target from Dalton there, and Burns was able to go in rhythm and get a real good swing.
Kessler retreating into the back row. It's going to be a free ball over by South Webster. Bossert sets it up down the middle for Jinxie Jones, who comes away with the kill. Evened up at 4.
Yeah, Jones really had started to come on as a freshman a year ago. Now as a sophomore, she's one I kind of had started in that pregame when you asked me that. I think she could have a real breakout year here in 2025.
An ace for Katie Burns to put the Warriors ahead 5-4. Kessler sets it up right down the middle, a dig in the back row momentarily for Katie Burns, but the point will go to South Webster.
Yeah, Bossert just lost her footing there a little bit. The 6'2" setter was going to get that second ball, and just feet just slipped on her a little bit.
5-5, Carly Mays back to serve for South Webster. Near side on the attack, it's Glandon, tipped back over by South Webster. Now Glandon gets back over to the Jeeps. Near side, Avery Claxton on the swing and a dig from Burns. Far side, J.C. Smith, a roll shot into the back row. She gets the kill.
Yeah, J.C. now a senior, has just been a terrific athlete in the SVC for quite some time now. And in a lot of different sports for the Touche Blue.
Now the junior Ava Farrell back to serve. Kessler right down the middle for Hamilton. A nice play by Bossert. Smith back over to the Jeeps now. Back-to-back kills for the senior.
That's a nice sign for Adena. You know, JC, hit a little bit out of the strong side last year, but really playing all the way around more for her passing and defense. The offense coming on this year would be a big boost.
Kessler fronts heading down the lane. It's Kennedy in a dig in the back row by Burns. Another swing for Smith. Far side. Make it 3 in a row for the senior.
Good confidence, just like any sport. You see that first one falling for a kill, and you start swinging a little bit free.
Warriors currently on a 6-1 run here in the first set. Now 7-1. Adena's lead is pushed up to 9-5. And timeout for South Webster. (9-5) here in set number 1. First timeout for the Jeep. Shane, I think one of the first takeaways I have for Adena is it seems like they're working a little deeper this year than maybe what we saw from them last year.
Well, and it really is. You're right. A great sign. J.C. Smith with 3 kills already. J.C. Jones, the defense with Lee Master was involved in the 1 block. And yeah, so you're just trying to get production up and down the net. You don't want to take for granted, but you know what you're going to get with Kimmy Dalton in that defense and J.C. Smith in that defense back there. So it really becomes the development at the net that I'm going to really pay attention to. And so far, I like some of the things I see.
5th consecutive season, these two teams have met up. In the early portions of the campaign, it was the Warriors who took the first 2 from South Webster in 2021 and 22, but it's been the Jeeps the last couple of meetings, winning in 5 sets a couple of years ago and taking down the Warriors in 4 a little over a year ago. Kessler brings it to the near side. Claxton, a roll shot back over to Adena. Now down the lane, it's J.C. Jones for the kill. After trailing 4-2, the Warriors have exploded here in set 1.
Well, they've done it with some solid serving and then some good defense, has been able to transition back into a much, much better attack. The first 3 or 4 serves of the day, they were completely out of system, now settling in.
Farrell serves it away for the Warriors. Kessler retreating into the back row, a free ball over by Claxton. Now Bossert front setting down the middle, it's Smith. Rather Jones. Now Kessler brings it to the near side, right back to Claxton, and a dig from Burns in the back row. Far side, this is Smith, tips it over with the right hand, and a nice play from Hightower. Now Claxton near side, blocked at the net by Lee Master. And a whistle that'll stop play, an athletic play by the 5'9" sophomore Peyton Lee Master got up above the net to block Avery Claxton, but it looks like a violation will give the point to the Jeeps.
Yeah, it hit the antenna there in front of the off of the block. I think that's why he called the line judge in to clarify, was it off of the attack or was it off of the block? And it was off the block, so point South Webster.
Claxton serves it away. A nice play momentarily by Katie Burns to keep it alive. Nonetheless, an ace for Avery Claxton.
Some late action on that ball diving there.
10-7, Adena leading South Webster. Back set near side. Tip back over to South Webster. Now the Jeeps on the attack with Claxton, a roll shot. Now Smith far side, flips it over with the right hand. Back to the Jeeps now. Kessler to Hamilton, dug up by Allie Bossert. Far side, Smith down the line, dug up in the back row by South Webster. Now Claxton a swing near side and a dig from Dalton. Bossert sets it up with the left hand. J.C. Jones comes away with the kill.
Yeah, really nice job defensively there from Adena. South Webster was able to come on a few good attacks, and Dalton with a pass on target. Adena was able to go on the attack out of the middle.
Courtney Sowers back to serve for the Warriors. They lead South Webster by 4. Kessler on the second touch tips it over. J.C. Smith right there for it. Now on the attack, it's Peyton Leemaster. Kessler front setting near side, a big swing from Addie Claxton, but she's blocked up top. Addison Wisecup and Peyton Leemaster on the defense for Adena.
Yeah, Leemaster and Wisecup did a good job of getting 4 hands over the net. You want to extend those arms so that you stay out of the net.
The junior Sowers back to serve again for Adena. Kessler from the attack line near side. It's Claxton to the back line, but it sails over out of bounds. Set high, 6-point lead for Adena.
Yeah, Adena's just picked up the tempo just a little bit, and it's got South Webster just a little out of sync in terms of the rhythm of their offense. Starts with a real good serve receive here for the Jeeps.
Claxton near side, a roll shot, and she sticks it in. 13-5, Warriors leading.
Nice little roll shot. Again, the serve receive wasn't perfect, but that's that having that elite setter that can go off the net and go get that and still deliver the ball into the right spot for the talented outside hitter.
Sowers brings it to the middle, a free ball over by Burns. Kessler now down the middle, a big swing for Chloe Milligan, who gets the kill.
Yeah, impressive in the early going here from the sophomore Milligan. Gives them a nice presence there in the middle.
A service error for the sophomore. Kennedy Hamilton will hand it back to Adena.
Yeah, tough break there for the Jeeps because they started to show some signs there. They got back to 13-9, still had to serve, and let's see if Adena can capitalize here and take over the first set.
Free ball over off the serve receive for the Jeeps. Now near side, it's Peyton Leemaster, dug up by Claxton. Kessler brings it near side. Addie Claxton down the line. She tools the block and comes away with the kill.
Yeah, again, that's the advantage of getting all the way outside, Dewey, because when you come at that angle, it's so tough for the block to be able to turn those hands in and keep that ball in. Really, really well done by Claxton.
The junior setter, Sydney Kessler, serves it away, and she comes away with an ace. That brings the Jeeps to within 3.
Yeah, that ball had a lot of good action on it. Yeah, South Webster always been a little bit of a risk-reward serve team, and they really get it going. They have 2 or 3 girls that can flip a set.
Sowers to the far side. It's Burns with a big swing. She gets the kill.
Yeah, Katie returns to the front row there and gets going right away. Now with her into her front rotations, it's a good time for Adena to try to take control of this first set.
Kessler tight to the net, back setting, nearly nobody home. An athletic play by Claxton just to get it over the net. Here's Burns with 2 hands, pushes it back over, and a dig from Claxton. Near side, a roll shot from Addie Claxton, and an outstanding play by J.C. Smith. Back to the Jeeps, now another swing for Addie Claxton, and she sticks it in the far side for the kill.
Yeah, a little cross-court hole there. A little bit of a cut shot.
15-12, Adena leading South Webster. Sowers takes it to the far side for Glandon, who's blocked up top. 15-13, Adena.
Now it's South Webster with a great opportunity to go here.
An overpass from Burns brings in a violation. Jeeps back within one.
Yeah, not a whole lot the setter can do when it gets that tight to the net.
Jeeps have rallied back here in the first set. Burns from the attack line. Can't keep it between the lines. We're tied up at 15. And a timeout for the Warriors. (15-15) tie here in the first set. The season opening matchup for the Warriors. Game number 4 for South Webster. Jeeps have played a couple of SVC league mates of Adena with matches against Unioda and Southeastern. Also a 3-set win over Notre Dame. They're set to begin league play a little later on next week. I will say one of the interesting things about volleyball is the staggered schedule. The starting of each team's schedule. We have a team in Unioda and teams in Unioda and Logan Elm that opened up last Thursday, and you have a team in Adena or I think it was maybe last Friday, and then you have a team in Adena that their first game isn't until the following Saturday.
Everybody has different philosophies on it. You're really starting to see it more and more in a lot of sports. They're letting you start just a hair early. Like basketball, a lot of times boys basketball play night before Thanksgiving. Some choose to, some don't like it.
15-15 tie out of the timeout. Far side, an attempted roll shot from Glandon. She was unable to get it up over the tape. And South Webster retakes the lead. High arcing serve from Claxton. Near side, Burns blocked at the net. A diving effort from Claxton. She's unable to get the hand underneath the ball, and we're tied up again at 16.
Yeah, went with the short serve, and Adena was ready for it there, and they were able to get Burns a swing. Going back to your 1 point, Dewey, sometimes as you go later in the winter, you have a lot of fall teams that push their season in, or in the spring with the winter. So now in the fall, you don't have to really mess with that.
Avery Claxton near side off the tape. Now Kessler right back to Claxton going to the far side. A nice play by Jones and Dalton to get it back over to South Webster. Now Kessler sets it up right down the middle. Chloe Milligan, another big swing. That puts the Jeeps back out in front.
Yeah, the vision of Claxton's been really impressive. She was the one with the little cross court there that got Adena scrambling. And then South Webster was able to go quick off of that, and Milligan gets the open swing at the net.
Emma Campbell serves it away for the Jeeps. They lead by 1. Near side, Burns off of one leg, sends it into the back line for the kill.
Yeah, just as we expected. 17 all. I've been impressed with those teams here early on. A lot of things I like on both sides.
Kessler tight to the net, brings it back to the Jeep side. An athletic play by Hamilton just to get it back over. Now far side, Smith. Dug up by Claxton. Kessler goes to the far side for Mays. Overpass from Dalton back to the Jeeps now. Kessler to the near side for Claxton. She tools the block for the kill.
That's her 5th kill here in the early going. And again, it's just what we talked about. She gets such a good job of getting out wide and creating that angle, and it really becomes a difficult thing for the block.
Bossard keeps it on the middle of the floor, hit over by J.C. Jones. Now the Jeeps now sail it over the back line, and we're tied up at 18. Farrell back to serve for Adena. Kessler tight to the net, sends it over on the second touch. Bossert does the same for Adena. Now Hamilton a big swing, and she gets the kill.
Up 1 with the serve here. Great chance for South Webster. It's been a while since they led by 2. I can't remember. Did they lead by 2 early in the set? This is a great chance for them.
Jones sends it over with 2 hands. Now Kessler brings it to the near side. Claxton just does get it up over the tape for the kill. Going back to your point, I believe the first 2-point lead for the Jeep since they led 4-2 earlier on in the set. Claxton sails it over the net for South Webster near side. J.C. Jones just over top of the back line. 3-point lead now for South Webster.
Yeah, good aggressive swing, just a little long, and South Webster can start to sense it here a little bit. Adena really needs to stop the bleeding.
Bossert goes to the attack line. Katie Burns, a miss hit. It flies out of bounds. It's 22-18. Second time out of the set for the Warriors. The Jeeps have really caught fire here in the back half of set 1.
Yeah, really on the Adena side, I see some things I like. I think they've had, you asked in the pregame about them not playing yet. I think some of that can certainly come into play on some of the hitting errors, some of the serving errors, things like that. For South Webster, they got off to a little bit of a sluggish start, and I think they've really got going. Obviously, the combination of Addie and Avery Claxton there on the outside is really good, and so steady at setter with Kessler. I just really like the way she quarterbacks the offense.
Out of the timeout, it's a 4-point lead for South Webster. Avery Claxton serves it away. Bossert back setting near side for Jones. She tools the block on the Adena side for the kill.
Yeah, you can just really see the year's growth of J.C. Jones. Just you can see, I call it the game slows down. So she goes up there, she's just able to read that. Where last year as a freshman, things are going 1,000 miles per hour. I really like her body control at the net.
Near side, it's a roll shot for Claxton. Wisecup sets it up far side. Smith blocked the net. A nice play by Wisecup. Burns sends it back over on the free ball. Kessler to Addie Claxton near side. Just over top of the tape, but the Warriors keep it alive. Free ball over by Smith. Kessler coming back to Claxton near side into the back row. As for now, the Warriors keep it alive. What an outstanding play by J.C. Smith. But the Jeeps eventually able to come away with the kill. The combination from Kimmy Dalton and J.C. Smith kept it alive momentarily for the Warriors, but it's the South Webster Jeeps who come away with the point.
Just outstanding volleyball all the way around. Great hustle from the Adena defense, and then great job of South Webster to realize they were scrambling, and they went a little quicker to get the kill. That was a big point, 23-19 now instead of 22-20.
Sowers goes to Burns, middle of the floor. Overpass from South Webster. And it's spiked right back down by the sophomore Peyton Lee Master.
Yeah, great job by Lee Master. So well coached, really timed it up. Went up with 2 hands. Too many young hitters try to go get that with 1. Just go get it with 2 and just toss it down.
J.C. Smith serves it away. Kessler set up a bit off target for Claxton. She sends it into the net, and the Warriors are back within 2.
Yeah, one of the few times setter hitter not on the same page there. They're running a little bit of an action, and they simply just weren't running the same action.
Overpass from Kinley Horner. 4 touches on the Warriors side.
That's just uncharacteristic of Adena. And again, that's where some kids into some new rotation spots and just got to talk and communicate.
Set point coming up now for South Webster. Kessler serves it away. Bump set, middle of the floor, a roll shot for Burns, a diving effort, but she is not able to keep it alive. 25-21 the final here in set one. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top-quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
We welcome you back to Adena High School. South Webster taking set number one from the Warriors, 25-21 the final in the opener. First set of the season for the Warriors. South Webster game number 4 here tonight. Rather this afternoon, the Jeeps 2-1 wins over Southeastern and Notre Dame, a 5-set loss to Unyota. But a strong back and forth set number 1 that the Jeeps were able to pull away. I think it's a set where if they're playing to 30, Adena may come back and even things up. It's more of South Webster just got hot at the right time.
Yeah, it was back and forth, back and forth. I thought Adena had a real opportunity right there in the middle of the set to take off. I said that 2 or 3 times, and they just didn't. And to South Webster's credit, they were able to withstand the blow. And then it was South Webster that got some great serving from Claxton, and both Claxtons on the outside were swinging. They were able to get some stuff out of the middle from Milligan and obviously Kessler quarterbacking it all, and they were the team that ended up taking off. And then I thought the big point came when they went up 23 to 18, I believe it was, or 23-19 instead of 22-20. That was the one where Smith ran the ball down over by the bench. But to credit to South Webster, they recognized they were out of system and went quick, and they were able to win that point. I thought that was a big point late in the set.
So set 2 coming up here at Adena. 25-21 the final in set 1. So again, this is the 5th consecutive season these two teams have met up. The Warriors taking the first couple of meetings, winning in straight sets in 2021, winning in 5 sets back in 2022. It was actually back-to-back 5-set matches in 2022 and 23, just different teams coming out on the better end of it. And then last year, South Webster taking down Adena 3-1. That was actually August 24th, so that'll be a year ago tomorrow. Except I believe last year it may have been the season opening matchup for both teams.
I think you're right.
Set 2 underway here in Frankfort. J.C. Smith serves it away. Kessler goes to Claxton, far side, dug up by Dalton. Sauer sets it up for Burns, right down the middle for the kill.
Yeah, this one, Adena's at their best in these early rotations. You obviously get Dalton and Smith back there in the back row. You get Sowers as your lead setter of the 6-2 offense, and then obviously Burns in the front row.
Kessler, a bump set near side for Mays. She sends it back over to Adena. Now Sowers back setting near side. Lee Master back to the Jeeps now. Now Claxton down the line. Mishit it a little bit, but able to get it up over the net. Burns sends it over. A free ball back over by Avery Claxton, but Katie Burns capitalizes and sends it back to the Jeep side.
Yeah, good awareness, good court vision. Knew exactly where the opening was when South Webster got scrambling off of the ball that came back over.
Smith serves it away with a 2-point lead for Adena. Kessler to Claxton near side. She sails it over the back line. It's 3-0 Adena.
I think they had the tip at the net there, and it's going to go back the other way.
So instead of 3-0, it's 2-1. Far side, Burns tools the block, and she'll come away with the kill. Rather, thought it was 4 touches, only 3 now. Burns this time able to tool the block for the kill. A couple of big swings for the senior.
I think what happened there was the hit came from so far back, and the person was a little looser than that. They still deemed it a little bit of a touch at the net, so it didn't count as the one, and nonetheless, to go right back, and Burns gets the kill.
3-1, Warriors leading South Webster. Kimmy Dalton nearly has the ace, but Avery Claxton's able to get it over on the free ball. Sowers to Burns down the middle. Nice play by Claxton with the left hand to get it back over. Free ball over by Adena now. And a whistled in violation. Double touch against the Warriors. Several athletic plays in that sequence just to keep the rally rolling. Sowers back setting for Burns near side. Nice play by Claxton to keep it alive. Free ball over by Mays. Sowers now keeps it in the middle for Burns. She comes away with the kill. Adena leads by 2.
Yeah, big time swing. You know, one of the biggest adjustments for Katie Burns this year, playing all the way around, doing the passing as well. Remember last year after she would serve, she would come out. This year playing all the way around. And when she's pulled back there in the serve receive, they're going to pick on her for 2 reasons. One, you don't want Dalton and Smith passing it, but 2, you want to make her have to work so she just can't settle in at the net and kill you.
Kessler comes to Claxton near side, but she's blocked up top. Katie Burns and Caroline Glandon in on the defense for Adena.
Yeah, based on their reaction, it looks like Glandon really got that one. Nice job. And Adena off to a much, much better start. Not just score-wise, but just playing better.
Kessler, a diving effort. Claxton sends it back over on the free ball on the second touch. Burns back to South Webster. Kessler back setting down the middle. It's Hamilton back over to Adena. Now Burns right down the lane with the right hand. Nearly sneaks it in. Nice play by Kessler to keep it alive. Avery Claxton with the kill for the Jeeps.
Yeah, great effort defensively there. Campbell and company in the back row there, the freshman. She has just a good effort all the way around to keep that ball up off the floor.
Bossert near side, a bump set. Burns down the middle as she sails it over the back line, asking for a tip. We'll have a further discussion. We saw 1 tip earlier on in the set. It doesn't look like the Warriors are going to get one here. It's 5-4. Tight serve for Mays. Far side, Jones on the attack. She's blocked. A violation against the Warriors. 5-5 tie.
Yeah, no touch at the net there, so when it comes back, it resulted in that 4th hit.
Bossert tight to the net, a bump set. Glandon down the middle for the kill.
So now you'll go Burns to the back row here. She goes now, pushes Smith up on the net too. So Dalton will take on a lot more passing responsibilities in some of these rotations.
Kessler front setting for Hamilton, just caught out of rhythm. 7-6 Adena.
Yeah, Kessler and Hamilton wanted to go with the quick there and just didn't have it timed up. Where that middle hitter, you want her to get right up on top of your setter.
Kessler from the attack line brings it near side. Avery Claxton just outside the near side line. And an ace for Katie Burns.
Yeah, this is why Burns is one of the elite players in all the area, really all the state. Is she can impact it, obviously, at the net, but she'll show you she can do some things with the serve and some other areas as well.
Tight to the net, an overpass for South Webster, Ava Farrell. Actually, correction, it was J.C. Jones, spikes it right back down for the kill.
I've been impressed with Jones. You know, after that volleyball run last year where she was playing kind of a small role as a freshman there, I was really impressed how she had started to come on in basketball, so I'm excited to see her growth this year.
Service error for Katie Burns. It's 10-6.
Yeah, that risk reward a little bit. You hate to see the error, but you'll take it because her serve obviously really pushed Adena out in front here a little bit. Had him up to 10-5, now 10-6.
Bossert keeps it down the middle for Jones. Now Kessler looking for Hamilton. It's a free ball over by Claxon. Now Burns from the back line, dug up in the back row by Hightower. Now Hamilton a swing and a dig from Burns. Bossert goes to Smith, far side down the line, and another dig for Hightower. And a violation against South Webster. That'll give the point to Adena.
Hightower and Campbell both doing a nice job back there defensively for South Webster.
Kessler back setting for Hamilton. Nice play by Burns. An overpass back to the Jeeps near side Addy. Claxon down the line, sticks it in the back left corner for the kill.
So athletic, had been going across court several times. That time changes it up and tries the line and hits her spot. This is where, you know, teams are so well coached, so well scouted. You'll notice in the serve receive here with Smith, Dalton, and Burns. That's why you'll see them go at Burns so much to really make her work. That time they go to the middle to Dalton, but watch that throughout the match.
J.C. Jones near side and attacking air. Brings the Jeeps back within 3. Serve from Kennedy up over the back line. It's 12-8. Courtney Sowers comes away with the ace for Adena. Warriors back up by 5.
Sowers and Bossert playing in the 6-2 offense for Adena, so they'll set across the back row.
Kessler a bump set far side, a roll shot from Claxon, and she's able to come away with the kill. Seeing the ability of Claxon to really locate where she's hitting the volleyball. It's not all about speed, it's more about accuracy.
It really is. It's vision and body control.
Weishaupt bump sets back to the middle of the floor. A free ball over by Lee Master. Now Kessler right down the middle for Milligan. She mishit it. Looked like she had the kill, but it's a violation against South Webster. That'll hand it back over to Adena. Tight serve from J.C. Smith. Kessler goes to Claxon, far side. A roll shot dug up by Dalton. Now Sowers goes to Weishaupt. She pushes it over with 2 hands, and a miss hit for Chloe Milligan allows the Warriors to come away with the kill.
Now, we were here a little bit in the first set. We were close to this score, maybe not exactly, but you know, you're Adena, you're at 15-9. You're back to your rotation 1 with Smith serving and Burns in the front row. Let's see if Adena can take advantage. They weren't able to in the first set.
Kessler goes back to Claxon, and once again, all about precision and accuracy. She floats it right in there for the kill.
Yeah, it really is the vision. And the reason I say body control, it allows her to hit a lot of different types of sets. It doesn't have to be in perfect rhythm all the time.
Far side, Katie Burns blocked at the net by Milligan. Wise Cup now goes back to Burns, and she's blocked once again by Milligan. Third swing for Burns. This time she floats it way up over. Now Avery Claxton near side, tools the block for the kill. Outstanding play for the Jeeps, a point driven by their defense.
Yeah, great job by the Jeeps just to keep on coming. Pretty good coverage from Adena a couple times, but South Webster just keeps coming there, and they always have that Claxton on the outside to go to.
15-11, Adena leading South Webster. Sowers front sets for a Wise Cup. She just does get it up over the tape for the kill.
Nice adjustment from Wise Cup there. You know, just one, to get the ball back over, but two, to stay out of the net while doing it.
Now the junior libero, Kimmy Dalton, back to serve. Overpass from the Jeeps. It's spiked right back down by Katie Burns.
Yeah, all made possible by the great serve of Dalton there. Gets the overpass. Burns takes care of the rest.
And an ace for Adena. Darcy Claxton not happy at all, and that'll force a Jeeps timeout.
Yeah, not very happy with some of the communication there in the back row, and Dalton was able to pick out some spots and pick it. You know, right now it's just a growth throughout the rotation for both teams. You know, with Adena, they're really, really good in these first three rotations. I like what I see there as they go through and get some kids into some roles. Remember what I said in the pregame, this team's going to be way, way better a month from now. On the South Webster side, gosh, I love the 1-2 punch of Claxton and Claxton, you know, Addie and Avery. It gives you the outside present. Milligan in the middle, and Hamilton opposite her. Gives you some middle presence. Hightower, Campbell, some of these kids, Horner, passing in the back row. Just been impressive with Kessler taking care of everything in the setting. So a lot of what we expected coming in, but we're also being introduced to a couple new stars in the making, if you will, throughout the next 4 years with some of these freshmen.
We spent the first week of the football season talking about the mental mistakes that are seemingly inevitable to happen, but that's ultimately not something that's exclusive just to football.
No, sir. Every coach will tell you that.
Out of the timeout, making back-to-back aces for Kimmy Dalton.
To your point, do it like a lot of times in football right now, you'll get some formation problems, some illegal shifts, things like that, where on the volleyball side, every rotation has certain timing and mechanisms that have to work the correct way.
Pre-snap penalty, a commonly used phrase for myself the first couple of days. South Webster's finally able to put an end to the Warriors' run. They cut the lead back down to 7. Campbell serves it away for the Jeeps. Sowers keeps it near side for Burns, blocked up top by Avery Claxton. Now Burns goes to Glandon, far side, a nice play by Kessler to keep it alive. Claxton, a bump set to Avery Claxton. She sends it over to Adena on the free ball. Now Burns down the middle for the kill.
Yeah, once it gets to that point, it's just a matter of her hitting it in bounds. You can't give her the open net there. You've got to be able to get some sort of resistance up at the net.
Allie Bossert serves it away for Adena. Kessler keeps it near side for Avery Claxton. A nice play, but an overpass for Smith. Sent back over with two hands by Kessler. Far side, this is Jones. Dug up by Campbell. Now Hamilton down the middle for the kill.
.2013, still an opportunity for South Webster to go, but it's going to have to be right now.
Mays serves it away for South Webster. Bossert keeps it near side for Burns. She gets another kill.
All made possible by the outstanding serve receive from Kimmy Dalton. Get that ball on target to your setter, and then allows Burns to go right in rhythm, and she's really starting to put together a pretty big afternoon.
Burns now back to serve for the Warriors. Kessler tight to net. It's an overpass, but back over to the Jeeps now. From the attack line, a roll shot for Claxton. Bossert keeps it down the middle for Jones, dug up by Claxton on the other side. Now Hamilton on the swing and a dig from Bossert. Smith a roll shot far side, dug up by Campbell. Kessler sets it up for Hamilton. The Warriors able to keep it alive. Back to Smith. Kessler brings it near side. Avery Claxton tips it over with the right hand. The Warriors keep it alive momentarily, but South Webster eventually going to come away with the point. Seems like when the ball is sent to the Warriors side defensively, it's never truly dead until it hits the floor.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. They certainly work hard on that side of it.
Bossert a bump sent to the far side to Smith. Now Addie Claxton gets a roll shot near side, dug up by Smith on the other side. J.C. Jones down the middle, sticks it in the back left corner for the kill.
6 kills for Jones. That's that production we're talking about that Coach Smith's looking to replace from last year's graduation of day. And so far, pretty good production from the sophomore.
Jones is a freshman, right around half of the Warriors sets last season, 50 out of the 90 played. Kessler brings it to the near side. Addie Claxton dug up in the back row by Ava Farrell. She'll send it over on the free ball. Kessler front setting for Claxton down the line, and another dig for Farrell. Bossert goes to Smith, far side. She sails it over the back line. 22-15, Adena leading South Webster in set 2.
Couple nice defensive plays from Farrell. Unfortunately, ends in the hit out of bounds for Adena. Been real impressed on the other side. Another freshman, Emma Campbell's just done an outstanding job passing the volleyball for the Jeeps.
Bossert back setting near side for Jones. Dug up by Claxton. Kessler goes to Addie Claxton, nearly tools the block. Smith keeps it alive. Burns back into play, and Bossert over on the free ball. Kessler to Hamilton up over the tape, dug up by Jones. Smith back over to Claxton on the Jeep side. Addie Claxton from the attack line, and a dig from Dalton. Bossert to Burns from the attack line, dug up in the back row by Hamilton. Addie Claxton sneaks it over the tape. Smith far side with the right hand for the kill. One of the longer rallies we've had this afternoon.
Yeah, it really was. And you know, what happens a lot of times is when these teams are playing against maybe lesser competition, some of those attacks are enough. Well, that's what's so great about these two playing each other early is they can push each other to a whole nother level, and you get some of those longer rallies.
Kessler backsetting far side for Addie Claxton. Sailed it over the back line. She's asking for the tip. They're not going to get it. Set point coming up for Adena. (24-15) Warriors leading here this set. Kessler off the high pass, far side. Addie Claxton just does sneak it over the tape. Overpass from Dalton, spiked right back down by Milligan. Two teams that you really can't afford the overpasses. It seems like the overpass kill percentage has been really close to 100 here this afternoon.
Well, and a lot of that is because well-coached teams always in the right position. You're exactly right.
Kessler serves it away. The Jeeps trailing by 8. Sowers back sets from the attack line. It's Smith dug up on the other side by Horner. Now Addie Claxton down the line, just over the back line. A mere inches for Claxton, nearly had the kill that would have cut it to 7. Nonetheless, it's a set 2 win for the Warriors. This match is tied up 1 set apiece. We'll take a break. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richer, countless nights in the garage, 8 shiny new pistons, 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter, and 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
Back here in Frankfort, through a couple of sets, we're tied up 1 set apiece. It's 25-21, set 1 win for South Webster before Adena ultimately answered back in a strong way, taking the second set. I believe 25-16 was the final, so really 2 competitive sets so far this afternoon.
Yeah, Adena way, way better in their best rotations to get off to a good start, and then they were able to play out in front. I thought in the first set, they were a little bit inconsistent in some of those. What you see with South Webster is a little bit more balanced all the way through all 6 rotations, and that's been a big factor here in the first 2 sets as well.
So again, if you're just now tuning in, it was a 25-21 set 1 win for South Webster, answered by a 25-16 set 2 win for the Warriors. And it kind of is an interesting dynamic when you get schools like South Webster. It's not a football school, and then you have teams like Adena. Obviously, we're talking about girls and boys sports, but they're on the road last night at McLean. Then you have teams like South Webster. It's more common to see that football Friday night or even a volleyball Friday night with any other schools that don't participate in football. Opening serve here in set 3 from Kessler is into the net. Early 1-0 lead for Adena. Kimmy Dalton with the opening serve here in the 3rd set for the Warriors. And she sails it over the back line, so back-to-back service errors to get us going here in the 3rd.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of both sides. I guess that evens it out, and we'll go ahead and play the 24, win by 2, I guess.
Miscommunication between Wisecup and Sowers. Burns tries to make the most of it from the attack line, but sends it into the net.
Here's an example I was talking about earlier. You know, you get Smith, Dalton, and Burns back, so most teams are going to try to make Burns pass it. Well, then it also puts her out of rhythm sometimes to go get ready to hit.
Claxton serves it away, an overpass from Burns. But they're going to mark it in play. It's 2-2. I don't even know what word to use to describe it. It's not something you see
not
too
the most
often.
conventional kill attempt, but Adena's not going to give it back either.
Take whatever you can get. It's Allie Bossert back to serve. Kessler front setting Avery Claxton near side. She's blocked, kept alive by Addie Claxton. Back to Avery Claxton this time. She sneaks it up over the tape and inside of the Adena block for the kill.
Yeah, Avery Claxton is freshman, 5'9" is what's listed here on our roster. Long, lanky athlete, high volleyball IQ. Really nice rookie here for the Jeeps.
43 kills coming into this afternoon for the freshman. She had 21 in the loss to Unioda. A 3-3 tie with Burns to the service line for the Warriors. Kessler keeps it in the middle. She's unable to hook up with Kennedy Hamilton, who came swinging down the lane.
Yeah, Kessler with a couple sophomore middle hitters. You'll look for that chemistry and timing to get a little bit better as the year moves on.
Kessler back sets to the far side for Mays, who gets the kill. Mays hasn't had a lot of opportunities this afternoon, but this time around she makes the most of that one.
No, and you go to that just enough to keep them honest. They did a good job of going in the middle there. Hamilton went to freeze the block, and then on the back set, you're able to get an open net.
Dalton sends it over on the free ball for Adena. Now back to Hamilton. This time she's able to come away with the kill. So far an on par third set. It's been back and forth. It's the serve for Mays. Long of the back line, and we're tied up once again, this time at 5.
Again, Mays trying to go at Burns to force her to have to work on the defensive side, but just unable to hit her spot, and it goes long.
5-5 tie. Ava Farrell serves it away. Kessler front setting Hamilton. Back-to-back kills for the sophomore.
Much, much better. See, that's what I'm talking about, Dewey, when we talk about the middle hitter. Go to your setter. Go get on top of her, and you can run that quick action. What it does is it moves the block side to side, and you're going at a much faster tempo, so the block is late.
6-5, South Webster leading. Overpass from Burns. Kessler front setting near side. Addie Claxon down the line. Second touch by Dalton. It'll be Smith over on the free ball. Kessler goes back to Hamilton. Make it 3 in a row for the 5'9 sophomore. After the miscue earlier on in the set, he's had 3 straight swings that have resulted in points for the Jeeps. Bossert goes to the far side for Lee Master. Now Kessler to Addie Claxon near side. Diving effort from Bossert keeps it alive. Burns over on the free ball. Kessler goes right back to Claxon. Dug up by Smith. Bossert to Jones. Dug up by Claxon. It'll be Addie Claxon over on the free ball. Back to the wires now. Bossert front setting near side for Jones. Diving effort from Claxon, but it's into the net on the pass.
You know, a lot of times what happens with young players coming in the new roles, Dewey, it's more on the defensive side. I like what I've seen out of some of the middle play for Adena offensively. Where they're struggling a little bit more is just defensively moving up and down the net, recognizing the different action of the opponent, and that just comes with some experience.
And an ace for Adena. That'll tie it up at 7 apiece. The junior Courtney Sowers.
Courtney's second ace of the afternoon.
Overpass from the Jeeps. Second touch. Sent right down for the kill for the sophomore Peyton Lee Master.
Nice job of Peyton using the two hands to throw it down. And again, that's all made possible off of Sowers. Even though it's not an ace, the high-level serve gives Adena an advantage, and they cash in.
After trailing 7-5, Adena has taken an 8-7, make it 9-7 lead. Another ace for Sowers.
Example where you get a server on a line where she sees an ace fall in there, and then she gets a little bit more confident and she gets on a run.
Tight serve from Sowers, and overpass from Horner. Now Sowers goes to Smith, far side. Diving effort from Claxon to keep it alive. Free ball sent over by the Jeeps. Now Wisecup sets it up, a free ball over by Burns. Now Kessler to Hamilton, and a dig from Wisecup. Sowers to Burns, well off the net, and a dig from Claxon in the back row. Addie Claxon near side with two hands looking to the far side. Smith is there for the dig. Lee Master back over to the Jeeps now. Kessler looking for Addie Claxon near side and trickles it up over the tape. Adena quickly back over to South Webster. Bump set near side to Claxon. Diving effort out of the back row for Dalton. Miscommunication for the Warriors. They send it over on the free ball. Kessler to Claxon near side. Nice one-arm dig for Kimmy Dalton in the back row and a whistle.
Yeah, she crossed the line. She did everything she could to stay out of the net when the ball got tight, but she ended up coming all the way across the line with the foot.
So a violation against the Warriors. That'll make it a 9-8 lead for Adena.
I'm sure South Webster's glad to see Sowers off that service line. She really sparked him there.
It's one of those rallies that the only thing that was going to end it was a violation. Both teams taking turns making outstanding athletic plays. Down the middle, it's Peyton Leemaster, the sophomore, gets a kill.
Good swing here. And, you know, as you watch these two teams, you and I are going to be back here Tuesday night with Uniota. Keep in mind, Uniota beat the South Webster team in 5. Had a chance to see Uniota on opening night. I think that's going to be a good one Tuesday.
Taking on that really good team out of Pickaway County in Logan Elm. The Jeeps answer right back. It's 10-9. I think one of the things that for a lot of people gets lost in the shuffle and excitement of Friday night football is just how good high school volleyball is in our area.
Phenomenal. Yes, absolutely. All around, it's just really, really good.
Sowers goes to Burns, far side, a big swing, but she's unable to keep it between the lines. She's asking for a tip, but they're not going to get it. We're tied up at 10.
I think volleyball has the depth. When you start going statewide, it's the depth of teams that compete at a state level.
Sowers goes back to Burns, tips it over with the right hand. The diving effort from Kessler keeps it alive. Roll shot from Claxon, dug up by Smith, far side. This is Wisecup, and a nice play by Horner. Addie Claxon, another swing, and she gets the kill. Jeeps retake the lead, 11-10.
Yeah, so Adena makes the run there with Sowers on the service line. Now with Kessler back. South Webster back in front.
Sowers from the attack line keeps it near side for Leemaster. Dug up in the back row by Horner. Now on the attack, it's Addie Claxon, a dig from Dalton. Smith back to Dalton over on the free ball for the Warriors. Kessler down the middle, it's Milligan. Kept alive by Adena, sent back over to the Jeeps. Once again on the free ball, Addie Claxon tight to the net with the right hand, and a diving effort from Sowers keeps it alive. Wisecup lobs it back over to the Jeeps. Front set by Kessler. Claxon, a big swing and a dig in the back row by Dalton. Now Burns down the middle, sails it over the back line. Now a 2-point lead for South Webster.
Yeah, had what you wanted if you're Adena, just a little long there. But certainly you'll take that option out of the front row every time.
12-10, South Webster leading. And an ace for Sydney Kessler. Timeout, Warriors. If you're just now tuning in, a 25-21 set number 1 win for South Webster, followed up by a 25-16 set 2 win for the Warriors. As of now, here in the third, it's 13-10, Jeeps leading.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Burns develop in the all-around game this year. She's going to be asked to pass the volleyball a lot more. And again, because she's playing with the likes of Dalton and Smith, you're going to see them try to go at her a little bit more. So that's going to be something interesting to watch. And, you know, South Webster goes at it a little bit differently than Adena. They go with the 5-1 attack with Kessler. So what that means is she's setting from all 6 spots. So when she's coming across the back row, she's going to have 3 hitters up front with her. When she sets in the front row, she'll only have 2, but it gives them a little bit more room at the net. And because they always have the option of a Claxon on the outside, they're always going to be fine. What I like about South Webster's team is I don't foresee them getting stuck in a rotation. A lot of teams have a particular rotation that they sometimes can really get hurt in. I don't see that. I don't see as many holes in this overall rotation of South Webster.
Out of the timeout, Kessler serves it away with a 3-point South Webster lead. And nobody home, make it another ace for Kessler. Miscommunication on the Adena side allows it to fall in.
Yeah, that's not going to settle well with Coach Smith there when it's an unforced error of communication.
Make it 3 in a row for Sydney Kessler. 15-10, Jeeps leading.
Yeah, going right down the line, going to stay away from Smith and Dalton, and she's been able to hit her spots.
Kessler goes back to Burns. This one beyond the back line. It'll have to be a free ball, and it is from Kimmy Dalton. Kessler front setting for Milligan. Nice play by Sowers to keep it alive. Sleemaster rolls it over to the Jeeps. Near side, Claxton blocked at the net. Diving effort from the Jeeps, but unfortunately Claxton is unable to get that last touch on it. The Warriors finally put an end to the South Webster rally.
Yes, Sydney Kessler back on that service line just started to take this third set over a little bit, able to build the 15-11 lead, see if Dalton can answer.
Kessler comes near side for Mays. Easy dig for Smith now. Burns on the attack, another kill.
Yeah, not nearly the attack from South Webster, made for the real easy pass on target. And again, when Adena passes on target in these particular rotation, Burns is going to have a heyday at the net.
Dalton remains at the service line for Adena. Miscommunication between Mays and Claxton. They're able to get it over on the free ball. Burns down the middle. She gets the kill. Back-to-back kills for the senior.
Yeah, some of the different contacts that they let go in today's game, it doesn't settle well with some of the older volleyball people. And sometimes you watch it and you can certainly understand why.
Timeout for South Webster.
I said Dalton needed the answer. So far, so good for Adena. She's able to get a couple back. But I think this has been pretty much what the two of us thought it would be, right? I mean, it's been a back and forth. It's been very, very competitive. Usually when you and I do Adena South Webster, we don't make any plans for a couple hours, later, because we know we could be here a while.
We've talked about this being the 5th consecutive season these teams have played each other in the early portions of the season. In the previous 4 matches, 2 of them have gone to a 5th set. So you know the competition level is there. We've talked about how it's programs where every year they graduate a lot of impact players, and you think, well, they might fall off a little bit next year, but it's just that revolving door that these 2 programs have built.
No question.
Out of the timeout, South Webster leading 15-13. Dalton serves it away for the Warriors. Addie Claxton on the swing, and a dig from Dalton on the other side. Glandon sends it over on the second touch. Kessler comes back to Claxton. A roll shot diving effort by Glandon. An overpass keeps it alive momentarily, but Claxton capitalizes and comes away with the kill. Tight to the net, nearly an overpass. Now a free ball into the back row. Mays bounces it over to the Warriors. Sowers to Burns down the middle, an overpass from Claxton. It's just outside the far sideline.
Yeah, you can't afford to have the free ball in these rotations here, because what it's going to allow Adena to go is go fast, and you just can't get your block set against Burns. If you're going to free ball it, got to try to pick a back corner, maybe try to attack the setter on her defensive spot.
Bossert back in. She serves it away for Adena. Claxton tools the block near side for the kill.
You were talking about reloading, having a freshman Emma Campbell in the back row and a freshman Avery Claxton all the way around. That's not a bad way to start. Those are going to be 2 pieces here that are going to be a part of the South Webster puzzle for the next 4 years.
And you talk about the next 4 years, just look into next year, only one senior on the current roster. Near side, Burns tools the block, another kill for the senior.
Yeah, on that first ball over, I know Burns usually hits out of the middle, but on the first ball over, she'll sometimes hit from different spots than that. In that particular rotation, it's going to be opposite on the weak side. The block's got to be aware of it.
Burns serves it away for the Warriors. Kessler bumps hitting near side, Claxton. She sails it over the back line. Warriors back within one, 17-16 in the third.
Yeah, one of the few times the freshman just got a little bit in a hurry on her approach. Didn't quite get on top of it.
Burns serves it away and over the back line. Lead back up to 2 for South Webster. The sole senior for the Jeeps, Carly Mays, serves it away. Back down to a 1-point deficit for Adena.
Yeah, and both teams just they get the one mistake that allowed South Webster to kind of stop a little bit of Adena's momentum, and they give it right back. So, here if you're Adena, this is your chance. You were slow to start here in this third set. Now you got a chance to get right back in this and play out in front.
Kessler front setting. And it looked like it was Avery Claxton on the overpass. Spikes it right back down for the kill.
Yeah, pretty good defensively for Adena the first time over, but then the second time, Claxton able to force it down through the block.
Claxton following the kill, serves it away. Free ball over by Burns. Kessler goes to Hamilton. She's blocked up top. The sophomore, J.C. Jones, comes away with the block for Adena.
Yeah, really athletic play, high above the net. That was a good job.
Courtney Sowers, another ace. That'll tie us up at 19.
Yeah, that's I believe her fourth of the match, and this was a rotation earlier where Sowers really sparked Adena.
Sowers tight to the net. Service error for the junior. Jeeps the first to 20 here in the third set.
Again, we're seeing some more errors in the service game here for both teams.
Hamilton serves it away for South Webster. Near side Smith and a dig from Claxton. Nearly an overpass, spiked right back down by Peyton Lee Master. Right on top of the second touch for Sydney Kessler.
Nice job from Lee Master. She's been giving some good production there in the middle.
And J.C. Smith comes away with the ace. Warriors back out in front by 1. Overpass from the Jeeps, spiked right back down. Katie Burns capitalizes to make it a 2-point set. Timeout, South Webster. We talked about the danger of an overpass, and that's certainly something that both teams have capitalized on defensively this afternoon.
They have, and so many of those have been made possible by outstanding serves, some outstanding attacks. And, here talking about serving, J.C. Smith's back on the line. She's hit 2 good ones here, one for the ace and one for the overpass. And, when here, if you're South Webster, you've really got to get locked in on your serve receive. You cannot afford another mistake. Get that ball passed on target to Kessler and trust that she'll make the right decision, because pretty much through these first 3 sets, I've only seen 1 or 2 decisions all day long that I maybe would question. I think she's been outstanding.
Out of the timeout, Adena leading South Webster 22-20. Smith serves it away, nearly has the ace. It's a free ball over by Addie Claxon. Sowers goes to Burns down the middle, another kill for the senior.
Again, it's the broken record. It's the serve of J.C. Smith that makes it all possible. South Webster not able to come on the attack. Free ball comes over. Set it up for Burns in the middle, and that's usually going to end the way it just did.
23-20 Adena. Kessler to Claxon into the back row. Kimmy Dalton the dig. Now with the right hand, Katie Burns sends it back to the Jeeps. Near side, another swing for Addie Claxon. A roll shot dug up by Weiskup. Back to Burns from the attack line. Blocked at the net. Now right back to Burns. This time she gets the kill. Set point coming up for Adena.
That's where Katie Burns just shows off her entire skill set. Never really got in the rhythm that particular rally and never really got an approach. That time she just pretty much from a standstill just goes up and hammers it.
Kessler running to the near side, and it's an ace that'll wrap up the third set for J.C. Smith. 25-20, the second set we've had this afternoon where both teams have reached that 20-point mark. The Warriors take a 1-set lead as we roll over to the fourth. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
Back here in Frankfort after 3 sets. The Warriors leading South Webster 2-1 after dropping the first. So it's back-to-back set wins for Adena that really came together and rallied in the back half of the third set to take this 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I thought South Webster had a real opportunity there in the middle of that third set. They were playing really well. Kessler got hot on the service line and started to impact the match in that way, but give Adena a lot of credit. They withstood that, came back with a little tough serving of their own. First from Sowers and then J.C. Smith to end it. South Webster serve receive, letting them down just a little bit, and that allowed some free balls to come over, and they were able to get Burns going. Burns working on a big afternoon. I'll try to get some unofficial totals to everybody toward the end of the match.
If you're just now tuning in after the first 3 sets, Adena leading the Jeeps 2-1. It was a 25-21 set 1 finish. Got the Jeeps out to a 1-0 lead, followed by back-to-back set wins for Adena, 25-16 and 25-20.
Unofficially right around 21 kills for Burns through 3 sets.
7 a set, that's not too shabby.
That's you're getting up into all Ohio levels at that point, player of the year in the state type of levels, which obviously I think we all agree that Burns will fall into those discussions. You and I talked about that before. You know, you get into your 2-3, you get to your solid varsity players, some of your all-league kids. You start to get up into your 4 and 5. You're getting in your district player of the year levels. You start getting up around that 5 or 6. You start getting up over that, and you're talking some elite company.
So J.C. Smith will get us going here in the fourth. Kessler keeps it right down the middle. Addie Claxon unable to get it up over the tape. It's 1-0 Warriors to begin the fourth set.
Rotation that Adena was able to cap off the third set win with. They're able to come right back out in the fourth set and roll it right back out with Smith on the line. South Webster's got to break this momentum. It starts with a good pass.
Overpass from Kinley Horner. Now Burns on the attack and a dig from Addie Claxon. Claxon gets a swing near side and comes away with the kill. That'll even it up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, the Claxon duo they've been really, really good on the outside here on our near side for the Jeeps.
Sowers keeps it on the far side for Burns. She gets another kill.
Talked about that earlier, about how early in certain rotations Burns will hit either from a strong side or on the opposite. She'll usually work out of the middle, once the ball gets in play, but you got to be aware of where she starts in a few of these rotations.
Dalton back to the service line for the Warriors. Overpass from Horner. It's out of bounds, so that'll be an ace for the junior Dalton. Serve from Dalton back over the back line.
Few more errors than normal for maybe a couple for these two teams, but I would say that both have come out and tried to serve pretty aggressive. They're well scouted because they're so well coached. They know each other so well. They kind of know where they want to attack in each spot.
Sowers keeps it near side for Burns, dug up in the back row by Campbell. Now on the roll shot, it's Avery Claxon for the kill. Emma Campbell back to the service line for the Jeeps. Bit off the attack line, it's a roll shot from Burns. Now on the other side, it's a roll shot from Claxon. This one's down past the back line. It's 4-3.
Yeah, well off the net. She tried to make something of it and maybe got a little too aggressive with it.
Bossard serves it away and comes away with the ace. Allie Bossard extends the Warriors' lead to 2. (5-3). Bossard serves it away. Near side, Claxon dug up by Smith on the other side. Now Bossard goes to Burns into the back row for the kill. We've talked a lot about the precision and accuracy of Addie Claxon, but there are times in the case of Katie Burns where speed and power is what gets it done.
Well, and I'm also impressed with her conditioning. Playing all the way around now, and you get in these 4 and 5 set, that can really start to impact your legs a little bit.
Serve from Allie Bossert just did trickle up over the tape. She gets another ace. Early 7-3 lead here in the fourth for Adena. This time the serve from Bossert is out of bounds. It's 7-4.
And again, we're seeing some of the risk-reward. Sometimes there's different spots you're trying to hit. Sometimes there's a particular player you're trying to go at, based on how they're lined up in their serve receive.
Bossert back setting near side, flipped up over the net by Katie Burns. Now Kessler goes to Hamilton, dug up in the back row by Smith. Now a swing for Glandon. She tools the block for the kill.
Yeah, block a little late to set. Nice job by Glandon.
Kaylee Hightower rotates in for the Jeeps. Kessler to Hamilton, back to the Warriors now. Jones at the net is blocked to the other side. Jeeps with a big defensive play.
Yeah, it looked like Hamilton up top there. Maybe Claxon was with her.
Avery Claxon serves it away and into the net. Another service error for South Webster. Kessler front setting, going right back to Claxon, far side, out of bounds. Warriors the first to double digits here in the fourth.
Yeah, and these are just some of the stretches. In watching that Uniota South Webster match, you saw it in there a little bit as well, where South Webster just can't mentally check out for 3 and 4 points at a time. Way too talented to do that.
Kessler goes to Hamilton, dug up by Bossert, far-sided Smith. Jeeps keep it alive. Claxon near side, tips it over with the right hand. Now Jones on the attack with the left hand. She sticks it in for the kill.
I don't know if that's exactly how you draw it up, but it was an athletic adjustment, and then she found the spot and delivered the kill.
11-5, Adena leading. Bossert serves it away. Kessler keeps it on the far side for Hamilton. Bump set to Burns, the hitting error for the senior. It's 11-6. Kennedy Hamilton back to the service line for the Jeeps. Another service error for South Webster. Had some trouble this set from the service line.
Well, and you're right. It's been a little bit unforced, and it just feels like, I don't know. I mean, did you feel like the third set kind of took a little bit out of them there, where they were in control and Adena comes back? They just don't seem like they have the same juice, the same body language in terms of their game right now.
Kessler keeps it on the far side for Claxon. Nice effort from Dalton to keep it alive. Free ball over by Smith. Kessler this time goes to Milligan. Dug up by Weiskup from the attack line. A roll shot from Smith. Retreating out of bounds, it's Horner, and a free ball over by Claxon. Sowers down the middle. Lee Master and an overpass back over to the Warriors, and a roll shot from Smith and another dig from Horner. Free ball over by Claxon, back to Adena now. Sowers keeps it down the middle for Lee Master, who sails it over the back line.
Yeah, nice long rally. Both teams, again, do a pretty good job defensively. And if you're not coming with a real good attack, these types of teams can keep the ball going for quite some time.
Kessler serves it away, an overpass from Burns. Kessler comes near side down the line. It's Claxon, dug up by Dalton in the back row. Out of the back row, it's Katie Burns with a big swing, but she sends it into the net.
Middle hitter Milligan doing a good job of recognizing Burns in the back row. Even on the back row attack, you still got to try to be aware to get up there and put a little defense.
Sowers front setting, keeps it near side for Lee Master. An overpass from Claxon, spiked right back down by Lee Master. We've seen her do that a handful of times this afternoon.
Yeah, I like her feel with the net there, the 5'9" sophomore. Going to be asked in volleyball and probably in basketball a little bit to help withstand the graduation of Day from a year ago.
Kessler back setting far side. It's Claxon. She gets the kill.
Just as I said with Burns, again, you got to be aware of Claxon sometimes in different serve-receive spots, attacking the net from different angles.
Another service error here in the fourth for South Webster.
Yeah, it's really been them kind of doing it to themselves.
Followed up by a Kimmy Dalton service error on the Warriors side. It's 14-10.
just takes one server to kind of get going on one side here for the Jeeps. Maybe it's the freshman Campbell here.
Sowers keeps it near side for Burns, dug up by Kessler in the back row. Near side, Avery Claxton, a roll shot blocked at the net. Now over on the free ball into the back left corner, a dig from Smith. Sowers to Burns down the middle for another kill.
Yeah, I understand the thought, but again, against Adena, when you have Smith and Dalton roaming back there, the idea of the surprise pushes or the tips or things like that, it's just not a high percentage play. I mean, I said it before, they're playing with two liberos back there. There's just not a whole lot of, there's not going to be a whole lot of holes.
15-10, Adena leading here in the fourth. Avery Claxton, a big swing, blocked at the net by the Warriors. Back to the Jeeps now. Avery Claxton gets another try. Free ball over by Dalton, dug up on the other side with the Jeeps. Avery Claxton, another swing. This one's into the net and falls down on the Jeep side. Adena leading 16-10 here in the fourth.
Now at 16-10, it becomes danger time for South Webster. If you're Adena, you kind of let them back in that second set earlier. Let's see if Adena can develop a little killer instinct here.
Kessler to Hamilton. She comes away with the kill into the back row. Nice looking swing from the sophomore.
Yeah, I've been real impressed with these two sophomore middle hitters. I think Hamilton and Milligan are just going to get better every time they play. And again, they're going to be a nice 1-2 punch in that middle later in the year.
Looking ahead to the SOC3, it really gets you excited for those pair of matches between South Webster and Wheelersburg coming up in the conference schedule.
Yeah, no question.
Far side Jones, a nice dig from Claxton momentarily, but it's Jones who comes away with the kill on the offensive side of Adena.
I have, let's see, unofficially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for J.C. Jones here today. That's a nice sign for Coach Smith, I'm sure, from her sophomore. She's looking to get a little bit more production from someone not named Katie Burns.
17-11, Adena leading. On the attack, it's Addie Claxton, a nice dig from Dalton. It stays on the Warriors' side, flipped up over the net by Jones. Now Avery Claxton, a swing and a dig from Smith on the other side. Burns from a well ways off the net, comes away with the kill.
That's just really good. Give credit to the sophomore Allie Bossert there. That ball, a little bit of an overpass into the net. She did exactly what you're taught, which is to square your shoulders up to the net and see if you can pop it up. And they were able to play on and later get a kill.
18-11, Adena leading here in the fourth set, make it 19-11.
You see Kessler immediately basically signaled to her teammate that was on her. She was expecting something else.
Starting to get into that danger time for the Jeeps. Kessler brings it near side. Avery Claxton blocked at the net. But the Jeeps keep it alive. What a play by Addie Claxton. Now Jones on the offensive side answers with a big swing of her own. Warriors the first to 20 here in the fourth.
Yeah, you can see with young players when they're able to string a couple key plays together, the confidence goes way up. You can see it in the body language with Jones today. She's been really good.
Timeout, South Webster. They trail by 9. We previously mentioned those aforementioned couple of matchups between South Webster and Wheelersburg. Obviously, those on the Adena side very familiar with the Pirates. That seems to be a frequent matchup down at Logan in the regional tournament. You can imagine that setting and that atmosphere a couple of times a year in a conference matchup. We got to see it last year at the Darcy Dome down in South Webster, and it's an atmosphere that you really can't recreate in the regular season very often.
You're right, and it is. That is an exciting matchup. I mean, when you think of what the Adena-Uniota matchup we're going to get a chance to do Tuesday night here, and then what you're talking about, South Webster and Wheelersburg down in that conference, that's exciting. Yeah, I really think Tuesday night, make sure you're back with us on SOSA. I think that Tuesday night match has got a chance to be really good.
And there are a lot of other teams in that SOC3 that do compete year to year. You had Emma Sayre at Portsmouth West, who I believe graduated in 23, if I'm not mistaken, now down at Marshall, continuing her career. So there are a lot of other teams that factor in and don't make it easy on those teams that are constantly at the top of the conference. It's Katie Burns with the service error. It's 20-12 here in the fourth set.
Certainly a good break for South Webster here. Let's see if they can go back and get somebody on a roll with the service line.
Avery Claxton serves it away. Bossert keeps it middle of the floor for Jones. Now Addie Claxton, a roll shot near side. Dug up by Bossert. Now Smith far side on the attack. Claxton with the dig. Now Addie Claxton near side. A big swing back to the Jeep side and a dig from the Jeeps back to Adena now. Bump set from Dalton into the back row. Over the back line for Katie Burns. Jeeps within 7.
I like the thought there from Burns. She didn't really get a chance to have an approach to really hammer it, so she was trying to roll and find a spot in the back. It was there, just sailed long.
And another service error. This one very costly for South Webster. That'll hand it back to Adena with an 8-point lead closing in on set point. They're at 21. Ava Farrell serves it away for the Warriors. Near side, Addie Claxton answers back with the kill.
Yeah, Addie's been really, really good today in her all-around game.
Looks like Kennedy Hamilton back to serve it away for the Jeeps. Bossert keeps it near side. Jones, another kill. It's been a coming out party tonight for the sophomore.
Yeah, it really has. And you know, the thing of it is in the serve, they've been hitting their spots and they've been trying to go at Burns a little bit. They've been trying to go at other people, but man, when you serve it right at Kimmy Dalton, I assume you missed your spot, because I mean that's just going to put Adena on the attack on a pretty accurate pass every time.
Service error for Courtney Sowers. Back to the Jeeps now.
It's been a pretty good day on the service line for Sowers. That time doesn't go in her favor.
With Kessler back to the service line, a chance for the Jeeps to go on a run here in the late fourth set. No better way to get it started than with another ace from the junior.
Yeah, up around 4 or 5. There was one there on my stat sheet, depending on how you want to score it. Nonetheless, her serve has given Adena some fits today.
22-16 Adena. Serve is away from Kessler. And another ace, 2 in a row. Instant impact and instant offense from the service line. Timeout, Adena.
Good timeout. I like how she used it early. I think some volleyball coaches, you know, now it's 22-17. Maybe they let it go 22-19, 22-20. Well, now the team's back in it. In this particular serve receive, it'll look like, to the eye, it'll look like Adena's in a 4-man serve receive. What they're actually doing is the setter's just coming from the back on contact. She's going to come to the front. She's not a part of that. So it's a 3-man serve receive. And again, with Smith, Dalton, and Burns, I've talked about throughout the day, you assume they're going to do their best to make Burns handle the ball because of the level of passer of the other two. As the day went on, Burns has really settled into that role. Defensively, she's gotten more and more comfortable. And that's another thing throughout the year. I look for that to continue to improve, and that's just going to be another part of her game that is going to make her a really, really good player at the next level if this is the sport she decides to go, because she's quite the track athlete as well.
Out of the timeout, Kessler serves it away. Jeeps trailing by 5, and Wisecup sends it over seemingly on the free ball, but she comes away with the kill.
Yeah, that one's not going to sit very well with Coach Claxton on the other side here.
Instead of a attacking opportunity, it's a point going the other way. Kessler bump sets, keeps it on the far side. Addie Claxton answers back. It's been a pesky effort for the Jeeps here in the fourth. They're just not going away.
Well, I think the leadership of Claxton's had a lot to do with that. Kessler as well. I like Claxton's energy and the way she talks to her teammates.
Sowers front setting far side. Burns, match point coming up for Adena.
Yeah, just been a big day for Katie Burns as she starts her senior campaign, and now Adena with a chance to earn a really, really good win here for them and to start the season.
24-18, Kimmy Dalton serves it away. And an ace is going to end it. 25-18, the final in set 3. After dropping the opening set, the Warriors rattle off 3 consecutive set wins to pull away with the match win, 3-1.
Yeah, good win for Adena. Like I said, South Webster's a really good volleyball team. Adena maybe a little slow to start there in the first, but once they answered in the second set, they were really in control of the match throughout, and it's a nice start to the season for them.
Super competitive match this afternoon. The Warriors pull it out in 4 sets over South Webster. We'll take a quick break. Stick around for the post-game show here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Back here in Frankfort, the Adena Warriors open up their 2025 campaign with a 4-set win over a South Webster team that you can expect to see competing in the district and even potentially regional tournament come the later October, and I believe it even creeps into November if you creep into the state tournament as well. But 2 outstanding teams here this afternoon, and after an opening set win for the Jeeps, Adena rattles off 3 consecutive set wins to pull away with the match win in 4. Great match here this afternoon.
Yeah, it really was. Some really, really high-level players, which you'd expect from 2 programs like this. But I mean, you're looking at probably 3, maybe 4 kids that are all Ohio level by the time we're all said and done in 2025, and they were really good for their respective teams today. You start with Katie Burns coming into her senior year, now playing all the way around. She's going to take on a little bit more responsibility. That adds 2.5 rotations to her wear and tear and her conditioning, which I never thought was a factor today at all, and I thought this match had a little bit of pace to it. She was unofficially, of course, I had her right up around 26 kills on the afternoon. But I thought the big thing that jumped out for me, you asked me in the pregame, what to expect at the net with the graduation of day. Well, I look down here and I see J.C. Jones into double figures of kills. But look at this with me, Dewey. Wisecup, Jones, Glandon, Leemaster, and Smith all involved in the offense, getting anywhere from about 2 to 6 kills, and that's big. That's big. It's enough to keep things honest. And obviously Adena's defense a little sloppy early. I thought it got going as the day went on, and I thought their serve was a big factor. Depending on how you want to score a couple, right around the 15-16 ace mark. But I had down 27 tally marks where I thought that the serve impacted the point in a way for Adena. So remember, it doesn't always have to be statistically just the ace falling in. Sometimes it's the overpass. Sometimes it's a free ball that comes back over, and then it's a Burns kill as a result. I thought that was a big factor. If I go over to the South Webster side, the Claxton duo combined for right up around 28 kills. And then I was impressed with their young middles. I think Hamilton and Milliken are going to get better as the year goes on. I also thought Hightower and Campbell did a good job there in the back row, as did Horner. Mays played a little bit for them. And then their junior setter, Sydney Kessler, had the big day setting. And then her serve, she was up around 5 or 6 aces as well. That was a rotation that did give Adena some fits. So two teams. Enjoyed watching them today, as I said in the pregame, and I feel even more so now. They're going to be way, way better a month or two from now, because a lot of these young pieces of the puzzle that are just getting the feet wet here in the opener for Adena, the first week for South Webster, they're only going to get better with reps, and I can't wait to watch them.
Hey, you mentioned Washington. We're going to see Adena next week, right back here in Frankfort when they take on Uniota. And for South Webster, they're back in action next Tuesday as well at Northwest. But an outstanding opening showing tonight for Adena. South Webster drops to 2-2, but a really strong start to the season just in terms of scheduling. But whenever you're a program that's really trying to build towards, not the goal of South Webster, as silly as it sounds, isn't to go 24, or not 24, you don't play that many regular season games, but your goal isn't to go undefeated in the regular season. Right. Your goal is to get, now everybody would like to do that, but your number one goal is to get experience, so when you're playing those teams that may come from out of the area in the later rounds of the state tournament, you're more prepared for those types of opponents.
Yeah, well, early on with programs, I think scheduling is important. You and I have talked about that in football before. I think some people schedule way, way too hard in the first 3 weeks when their program's not there yet. I think once your program starts to establish itself and do some things, then I think your expectations change, and you certainly do want to do that. You're talking about scheduling. One of the reasons I'm so excited about Tuesday night is when I was watching Uniota on opening night, I don't think I quite understood just how good Logan Elm was. I mean, keep in mind, Logan Elm was a really good volleyball team last year, and then they get their all-Ohio middleback in King. So as Uniota went on and they beat Chillicothe in 5, they beat South Webster in 5, I think it starts to tell you even more so about that Logan Elm team. That's one that I know you and I will try to get on the schedule another time or two. But it also tells me that, man, this Uniota team I thought was going to need a couple weeks to a month to really find itself, but maybe they've been able to figure something out here in their first 3 or 4 matches.
Yeah, you mentioned that Logan Elm team and maybe trying to get back up into the MSL. I think when they head over to the Glow Fiber Gymnasium in Circleville, that's definitely one we'll want to see. Is that Circleville team very similar to Logan Elm, where they've been young but experienced. They've got a lot of pieces coming back, and that should be a good couple of matchups in the MSL.
Well, and then you look at some of the early scores when you flip back over to the SVC. Westfall went toe-to-toe with Circleville there a little bit, and Huntington's off to a nice start, Southeastern. So there's going to be some depth. You and I saw Zane Trace, so I'm looking forward to it. I think, like I said, volleyball is one of my favorite things to follow throughout the year, because it's such good volleyball. The SVC plays it at a high level, but really our entire SOSA area just has a lot of different representation that pretty much mainstays when it comes Sweet 16, Elite 8 time.
And again, just those from Adena and even maybe those from Uniota. Obviously, this is a bit of it's an interesting prime time-ish slot, as there's not a whole lot else going on. Now, there are obviously some other games being played at 1 p.m., but not everybody's in action on Saturday at 1 p.m., so there could be people from around the South Valley Conference, around the SOC3 watching. But those from the South Valley Conference, Adena or Uniota, that may be tuned in, we will have that one here in Frankfort with the Shermans and Warriors next Tuesday night. Again, South Webster falls to 2-2. They're at Northwest in McDermott next Tuesday. That'll wrap it up for Shane Combs and myself as we say so long from Adena High School. Warriors picking up the 3-1 win over South Webster here this afternoon. You've been watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio